Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's a gorgeous Friday morning after Thanksgiving and nothing better to do than test what I'm going to call the actual cheapest battery that I've ever received here. I've said that on the last battery review, but this one technically is. This is 19 cents a watt hour with Bluetooth, but it isn't any good. Let's give it a shot. So let's get this thing unpackaged and I'll kind of go over some of the specs, the boring specs with you folks, and then we're just gonna do some testing on it and see if you're gonna get anything worth your money for 19 cents a watt hour. So this is from JSDSOLAR. It is a 400 amp hour battery, again, with Bluetooth, and it weighs 87 pounds. So it's gonna be fun getting this thing out of the package. Got a little manual. No. Ooh, wow. I feel the full 87 pounds of that. But nothing else in the box. We do have some supplied terminal bolts. So let's get those installed. Let's see what they shipped this battery at. 13.2 charge on it. Is that going to show up? So first step is to get this thing completely topped off. So I'm going to hook up my charger, but again, just some quick specs on this battery. 90 pounds, 400 amp hours, 12 volts. It's got a 200 amp BMS on it. Quite a few of these batteries actually come with a 100 amp BMS, which is great, honestly, for a 12 volt system, but it does kind of limit what you can power off of these batteries, and also, of course, depending on your inverter. But 200 amp BMS really kind of expands what you can actually run off of this battery. This does not have any type of low temp charging protection on it. So it's kind of a bare bones deal, but 19 cents a watt hour with Bluetooth. So we're gonna test out the app, make sure it's accurate, but we got to get this thing topped off and do a capacity discharge test on it to make sure that we get at least 400 amp hours out of it. But let's make sure that it will take a charge. Okay, there we go. So we are charging. I will come back when this is fully topped off and we'll get our capacity discharge test rolling. All right, gang, well, this has been sitting overnight. This took forever to charge, but you can see here the light on my charger is green, so this thing is fully topped off, but let's get a voltage check on it. And it settled down to 13.46. Okay, so I got my smart shunt here recalibrated. I got a 400 amp hour remaining battery indicator. We are at 0 elapsed amp hours used. So now we're gonna run a load, and I'm gonna use a 500 watt space heater to discharge this battery, and we're gonna keep track of it with this shunt when it's done to see how many amp hours we were able to get out of this. All right, testing has begun. Okay, so that heater is pulling around 546 watts right now, 41 amps, and my battery is now at 99% full. So this will take quite a few hours, but we'll come back and check to see what that bottom number is when we're all done. All right, folks, so one of the main features of this battery that I was touting is that it is Bluetooth, meaning that you can log into it and monitor the usage and whatnot. I will say I was disappointed in the fact that there's nothing in the instruction manual that has a Bluetooth name, an app name, a QR code, or anything. JSDSOLAR sent me an email with a QR code that I had to take a picture of and go get the app because I didn't know the name of the app. If you buy this from Amazon, I don't know how you would get that. So I will tell the company that they need to start including the QR code on the instruction manual so you can easily find the app and know, which one to download. But long story short, I got the app finally downloaded, and this is a screenshot of what you're gonna see. So it's gonna give you, of course, your main state of charge, which we're sitting at 98% right now. I've got 391.94 remaining amp hours. It gives you an estimated time to empty, which is 9 hours and 24 minutes. And just a couple of other bits and pieces of information. You're gonna have all of your single pack voltages down at the bottom. You have a balance feature, so this battery will balance the cells. You can either cut that on or off in the app. And it's gonna give you a cycle count. This has been cycled one time. So that will keep track of how many times you've discharged and charged this battery, which is always good. If you have this for 2 or 3 years, you kind of want to know how many times have you used this. This will keep track of that. But other than that, you can go into your parameters, your basic information. You can change the Bluetooth name, change your password. That's me. You can go into history, and obviously since I've only discharged this thing or charged it one time, there really is no history, but you will have past usage of your high voltage, your high charge rate, you know, all that stuff is gonna be on these graphs once you start using this battery more. But it's very basic, but it's always good to be able to log into these batteries, I feel, especially if these are in an RV where you can't necessarily get easy access to them. If they are Bluetooth enabled, you can log into the app and see the state of charge. Again, cycle count, all that good stuff. So it is good that it has a Bluetooth, and again, for 19 cents a watt hour, it's a great feature to have. Even though this doesn't have low temp charging protection, they give you Bluetooth. It's just, all right, well that took all day to drain this battery. We actually hit low voltage disconnect, so my inverter actually shut everything down. There's still a little bit left in the tank on this, but this might be the most surprising result that I've ever had testing a battery or a power station. So this is a 400 amp hour battery. Let me show you what we squeezed out of it. 433.9. And again, gang, there's still more left in the tank here. If my inverter wouldn't have cut off due to low voltage disconnect, I probably would have gotten 400, I'm gonna say 440 watt hours. So very, very surprising result. So looking at the runtime on this shunt, just a little bit more data for you folks. This ran for 11 hours and around 20 minutes, running around a 400-ish, 450 watt load. So I'm just gonna get this thing charged back up overnight because it'll take a while, and then we'll see if we can get close to 200 amps discharge, and we'll go from there. All right, now let's test out the BMS or get as close to the 200 amps as I can with my current setup and my current cabling and whatnot. But I've got two space heaters here. I've got my clamp meter set up, so I'm gonna get both of these cut on and then get a close-up of these amps and put a little timer on it, make sure we can get at least around 5-10 minutes running at max what I can put off of this battery with my setup here. So, got the inverter cut on, and that's pulling 194 amps. We're slowly going down once these heaters kind of get up and running. Let's see, 178 amps. And that's pulling 1999 watts. I've got a 2200 watt inverter over here, so I'm pretty much maxing out my inverter right now. But it looks like we've kind of settled down at 173, 174 amps. So let's just leave it there, folks. Let's see if this will run for around 5 minutes. I'm gonna get a stopwatch going right now. And we'll see how this reacts, but I really don't think it's gonna be any issue for this battery. So we're a minute in, 181 amps. Actually climbing just a hair now. We're about to hit 182 amps. So I'm gonna let this thing run for a few more minutes. We'll come back and check in. We are 12 minutes into this test, and we have kind of started to slowly climb up. We're around 186 amps now. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. The battery seems to be working just fine. So let me get this inverter cut off. So final thoughts, gang. I just checked Amazon, so these reviews take a few days. When I first reviewed this battery was $974 on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. It is now $1,299 with a 20% off coupon, so it does bump up that price per watt hour a little bit by around 20 cents a watt hour now, which is still technically the cheapest battery I've ever tested here. And I'll say it again, this does have Bluetooth, which a lot of these batteries don't. So I'm gonna give this a pretty good score. 433 amp hours off of the discharge test. There was some left in the tank, but is that really usable? Probably not, because most inverters are going to cut off when you hit that low voltage. So there was some left. You can't really get to it though, but 433 amp hours. That's awesome. It's got Bluetooth, which is great. A lot of these batteries charge quite a bit of a premium to get Bluetooth added to their battery. And it is really convenient to be able to monitor these batteries and the state of charge through your phone, so you don't have to actually go look at a shunt or wherever the battery is, figure out what the voltage is. The only negative is no low temp charging protection, but for me here in Texas, guys, it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm not going to be trying to charge this battery up in 25-degree weather. We just don't get that here. If you're up north in the colder climates, that might be more important feature for you. It's just give or take. Do you need it or do you not need it? I don't know, but this does not have low temp charging protection. But as a whole, I think this is a really good value battery, even at the slightly increased price from when I first got this battery. Again, guys, we're still sitting at around 20.5 cents a watt hour, which is a pretty good deal. So I will leave a link for this battery in the description below. It's going to be an Amazon affiliate link. I am, however, not an affiliate of JSD Solar. So if you buy this battery from their website, I don't get a cent from it. I don't get a penny, and that's fine. That's the way I like it. Guys, check it out if you're interested. It's a big battery. It's going to store a lot of energy for you if you need it. And yeah, did pretty well. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.